And when I started going through 18 different life crises, most people know the divorce, that was the smallest part of it. It was so much deeper. A man had a total breakdown. He talks about it. Our daughter died of cancer. We were under investigation for over 9 different years, totally cleared.
But if we say, should the church be involved in politics, that general question, then you ask this, should politics be involved in the church? Because I can sit here and say, I've been under a Grassley inquiry.
Yeah.
I have been in a situation where the government came in and everyone wanted to make it a financial. It had nothing to do with finances. It was that a senator took a doctrinal position. When he took a doctrinal position, there are very few things that I'd laid my life down for, but that is one, to say, if you can take away my rights in this country to begin to interpret doctrine. I have preached in countries that they have had armed soldiers that if I say Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life, you will be arrested. Who says that if we take one doctrinal position and the government can control that, they can control everyone? So you have to look at it on both sides. So as American citizens who are believers, get yourself involved. Put the best in office. Be active. Be educated. But if we say, does the church become involved in politics as the church entity, then does the government become involved in the church?
All right.
Just a question to pose to you. And that's a big question to think about, because when the government comes down and begins to say, this is what you have to preach, this is what you have to do, this is how your money is controlled, that's a whole different side.
Let me ask.
It's quiet in the house right now.
It is.
I've been under a Grassley inquiry.
Yeah.
I have been in a situation where the government came in and everyone wanted to make it a financial. It had nothing to do with finances. It was that a senator took a doctrinal position.
You know, some of the feedback that we've been getting today, Senator, from our online component is that people are concerned somewhat about this, especially those supporters of this particular church in Tampa, about the separation between church and state. When does government have the right to investigate churches like this to find out where and how they spend their money?
Well, first of all, we have no right being involved with doctrinal issues, and this doesn't involve that at all. This involves their nonprofit status as any nonprofit organization. It involves the tax laws being enforced and followed, and quite frankly, with any nonprofit organization, it ought to encourage a great deal of transparency, because if I'm contributing to a church, I ought to know that my money is being used with the intent in which it was given. So we're not involving a church state at all, except the extent to which the IRS is already involved in that issue. And that's pretty peripheral, as you probably know. All I can do about it is look at what the tax laws are, look at what a nonprofit agency or organization's responsibility is, and look at it from that standpoint. And then, you know, I'm a Christian. I can have sympathy for the ministries that they want to have, but in my own local church, if I donate to that church, and I do, in the spirit of tithing, then, you know, that church has a responsibility to tell me what they're doing with my money. And I would think that any ministry would want to maintain the credibility of their contributors in order to enhance their future growth. And enhancing credibility is important here.
Why start this investigation now, and why did you select these 6 church organizations around the country?
Nothing magic about those 6, and there could have been maybe some more, but we've heard mostly about these. And this starts with Chuck Grassley being involved in the investigations of nonprofits of all kinds over a long period of time, maybe 5 or 6 years. So it's quite natural that people that you might call whistleblowers would come to me. But we first got interested in this from some television reports, some print media, but we had very interested third parties come to us and give us evidence that maybe there was misuse of money. We're finding in some of these governance boards, family members are approving big salaries and fringe benefits for other family members. And to what extent does that meet the needs and requirements of a nonprofit organization? These are questions that need to be asked. I wish that I could tell you that that there's been wrongdoing or not wrongdoing, but I don't know. That's why we sent the letters out. We want these ministries to speak for themselves.